Hi guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, thank you so much for deciding to come and watch my video. You have made a very right decision. And if this is not your first time, you already know that I am deeply grateful, that I am so thankful that you decided to take time out of a very busy schedule to come and watch my video. You'll find it insightful as always. Thank you. So today I want to talk about something very important, and it has to do with cracked walls in the home. Avoiding cracked walls in the home. Or let me say, another suitable title will be avoiding third parties in your marriage, or avoiding third parties in the home. For every healthy marriage, take note of the keyword there, healthy. For every healthy home, it is very important. One of the key factors to have in mind is that there shouldn't be any cracked walls in your home at all. And this title, or this particular video, is got from a very common Yoruba proverb. I will not say it in Yoruba language because I know that I have different kinds of audience, but I'll write it down here in Yoruba language, but I'll interpret it in English. And the proverb says, if the wall does, that's literally, if the wall does not open its mouth, the lizard will not gain entrance into the home. That's obviously, lizards or rodents or pests of any kind can only get into the home when they see cracks, when they see little holes here and there in which they can gain access into the home. That's the only way they can come in. They don't just appear into the home. Do you understand? So for everything that comes into your home, for every influence that gets into your home, for everything that gains access into your home from outside, is as a result of the fact that you knowingly or unknowingly allowed. So I want to talk about the importance of not allowing anything gain access into your home, into your space. And this is because the day you both decided to get married, the day you both exchange your vows, more importantly, that day was just between you, your spouse, and God. So the only external factor, he's not an external factor. God is the only person that is permitted to dwell in your home, to be in that space. Every other person, even those with the best of intentions, are not allowed to come into your space if you don't give them that access. So why do I say that it's important that as much as possible you should avoid having cracked walls in your home? The thing is this: it's important that both of you understand that your voices in the home are the only voices that matter. Aside from hearing from God or doing what God wants you to do according to his will, your voices in the home are the only voices that matter. Not the voice of your mother-in-law, not the voice of your father-in-law, not the voice of your brother-in-law, not the voice of your best friend, not the voice of your cousin, not the voice of a relative, not the voice of your mentor, not the voice of your spiritual leader. It is only your voices in that home that matter the most. It's important to note that, because the thing about this society I've realized is that there's a point where everybody feels communal. We all feel like every other person's business is our business, which is something that I frown against, especially in a lot of things. So you find a lot of people trying to intrude or trying to be intrusive when not invited in matters that concern couples or concern homes that they are privileged to be close to. Do you understand? So they don't know where to draw the balance between being communal, maybe between instances where you are invited to come and do certain things in the home, not to come and be the decision maker, not to come and be the one that has the higher voice in the home and things like that. So they don't know where to draw the balance between being communal and not being intrusive. That's one issue we have in the society. So it's important that, since you can't control what happens on the outside, It's important that you control what happens inside. It's important that you realize that your voices are the only ones that matter in your home. Your voices are the only ones that matter in your home. When you set this precedent, you will realize that it will just naturally, every other person outside will naturally get it, will naturally feel it. Like they'll just, I don't know, but they can feel the vibe. They can tell by the things that you people say or put in place that no, these ones, we can't interfere in their matter. We can't, or they don't even see any room where, because that's the cracked wall. That's the point that I was trying to mention about the cracked wall. They won't even see any space where they will feel like, okay, there's something here, maybe we can come in through that. Do you understand? It's important because some people may have very, very wonderful intentions, but some people, we obviously know that some people are good, some people are not too good. Some people have wrong motives, wrong intentions to help the enemy bring about so many unhealthy homes. And as much as possible, your duty is to protect your home, to protect your space against every form of external forces. So it is very important, like I've said before, that you both must understand that your voices are the most important. Your voices are the most important. I know that some people may be saying, okay, what of in situations where there's intense conflict and we don't understand each other, we don't know how to express ourselves to each other, and then we need a third party, maybe someone that the other spouse listens to more, to be able to come and help us address certain issues. Far from it, it is very important that you both must understand the rudiments of good communication in the home. And the thing about these things is not necessarily about theory. It's something that you keep practicing day in, day out. It's not something you learn from. If you read, there are very many good books and very many good courses on marriage, but more than reading them and more than getting the knowledge is you putting those things to practice daily, every single day. The health of your marriage is not something that happens maybe just the day you made the vows, or maybe just on, or just once in a while, maybe just during your anniversary, or during special celebrations, remember how much you love each other and think. No, it is a daily practice. It's something you do every single day. So it is very, very important to take note of the fact that you need to learn the rudiments of good communication. And I have a class that's coming up very soon in the month of November. I'll implore that you please attend that class to understand that there's a particular method in which couples can live together and they don't have to be going through conflicts every single day of their life. It is very doable. You'll be surprised. You may say, how is that possible? Come to that class and you understand better what I'm trying to say. So that's an aside. I've talked about the parts where I've said that it is important that you realize that only your voices, and by voices I mean it must be in line with what God has laid down in his precepts. By voices, it must be according to, it must not be against God's will. So whatever I say to my spouse, whatever my spouse says to me, we must both know that, okay, it's still in line with the will of God. Not me being egoistic or him being egoistic and saying my own voice must overrule the other person and things like that. No, far from it. So it is very important to understand that everything that goes on in your home stays in your home. How you run your home, the things that you do, your finances, everything stays in your home. You don't go about to other people saying, oh, this is what my husband does, he's doing this and that, especially when they don't ask you. Oh, this is how we do this in our house. When we do you get, you don't go about just leaving your home unguarded, leaving your home unprotected just by the things that you say outside. It's, for instance, I share a lot of things based on God's leading about my home on my social media space, but I am an extremely private person. It may seem too hard to believe, but that's the truth. I'm an extremely private person, and by saying that, I'm not a secretive person. So some people may say, well, I don't post my things on social media because I don't want, and that, like, the motive for that is just being secretive about or them assuming that that is the way to protect. No, no, that's not my own definition. By that I mean I know boundaries, I know where to draw the line about the things that I share, especially because it is God who is leading me to say those things. So sometimes, even when if I have to share something that is very profound, very deep, it must have been God who made me do that sharing publicly for a particular purpose, and not me talking about what happens in my home just to every ear that cares to hear. Do you understand? That's the point I'm trying. Another thing I'd like you to take note of is the fact that, so after telling the third party the things that is happening in your home, whether it's a positive thing or a negative, whatever it is, what difference will it make in your home? Let's say it's an issue that you need resolving. What difference will you really make in your home? Will it forever not let that thing repeat itself? Do you understand? So if the thing will eventually repeat itself, why don't you both within your home find ways to tackle that thing within your space and not let it repeat itself? You may wonder, okay, what about what's now the place of therapists? What's now the place of marriage counselors and things like that? It is very important to understand that if you are going to have to get external views or external perspective to certain things in your home, you must be mindful that the people that you go to are either professionals or people who understand the sanctity of marriage and who will never try to come in between you both, or who will not start taking sides with one person and like letting the other person feel bad about the situation and things like that. It is very important. It is very, very important that you take that to mind. Some people I've even seen, it's not me just imagining, I've seen situations where you imagine, oh, this person in church she's a mentor, a lot of people like her and things like that, and then you go and tell the person about your situation, and then someone else goes to have a conversation with that person, and then she uses your situation as the example to the other person. What on a normal day shouldn't have, and it may not even have been because she intentionally wanted to talk about that thing. She just may have said it out of just trying to, maybe she didn't find any other better example to give, so she just felt that would be the best example. You understand? You don't want situations like that. It's important that you be mindful. If you don't have any other choice, be mindful who you go to share things with. Be very, very mindful. Be very, very mindful. So it's very important. Focus on ensuring that you know or understand how best to communicate to each other. Talk about those things. Imagine you telling your friend, oh, my husband is doing this or that, or telling your friend, oh, my wife does not do this or that. Why tell your friend when you can tell your spouse those things that you want them to do better, or those things that you want them to improve at? Do you understand? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. The thing about things like this, because we have seen it happen in previous, I think I even learned these things from my parents. I've never seen them talk about each other to a third party, or talk about what happens in the home to a third party. And apart from learning from them, I don't know, I just feel that the home is a space that I need to guard, that one needs to guard. You have to be very protective of your home the best way that you can. It's very, very important. So I have talked about these two things: understanding that your voices are the only ones that really matter in the home, and understanding the importance of learning the rudiments of good communication, effective communication between each other, so that you don't need to meet a third party. And then that if the situation warrants that you need a third party, which I keep saying you really don't need, if you understand certain basic things, be sure that you are either meeting a professional or you are meeting someone who understands the sanctity of marriage and who won't use that issue as a subject of gossip or make that issue escalate beyond what it is. It's important to have that. So I have talked about this for healthy marriages, and then I would like to put the disclaimer: if there are issues in the home, if the home is not healthy as it should be, if you are facing one form of violence or the other and that thing is beyond you, it's important that you speak out to the same right people that I mentioned earlier. It's important that you speak out to the professionals, speak out to people who know how to handle those situations and who can be of help to you. So I hope that you found this video insightful, and I hope that you understand how important it is not to allow cracked walls, so that you don't have rodents, pests coming to interfere into your space, into the harmony that is in your space, into the peace that is in your space, into the health of your marriage. So that's basically all I have to share on this particular issue for today. Subsequently, if I have any more points, or if you have some points that you think that other people can learn from, that I can learn from, please do well to share them with me as well. Thank you very much for watching my video. Once again, God bless you real good. Do have a very, very lovely weekend and week ahead. Bye.